An estimated 1 billion mice. It's considered the worst mouse plague in decades. How widespread is this plague and where is it heading?
So we've known about the mice in Western New South Wales for some time now, and now they've moved across the border. They're definitely in South Australia and in Queensland. We have heard reports of them being in Adelaide. Um, the devastation that the size and the scope of this mouse plague is something that's really, really hard to get your head around. And I'm just watching the footage there. When you see the ground move from mice, it's not something that I don't think anyone really wants to experience.
Can you describe it by giving us some personal stories that you've heard? Because we're hearing they're eating tyres, nibbling at people's feet at night, under pillows. Just extraordinary and very hard to comprehend.
It is really hard to comprehend. I was just talking to one of the farmers recently. She's heavily pregnant and with a toddler. They can't drink their water because the mice are dying in their water supply, so they've got to buy bottled water and distill their water. And she came home and picked up her toddler and found a dead mice under the pillow. Now, regardless of how, as a mum, heavily pregnant with mice all through your house and them dying underneath your child's pillow, it's pretty traumatic. I don't think any mother would want that for their children, especially their babies. So they're doing everything they possibly can to try and keep the house clean, and, shampooing carpets, disinfecting everything, but it's pretty traumatic.
And Jannine, you're saying it's going to the water supply. I know that you need a lot of frost around to help eradicate the mice. And I was talking to our meteorologist and we have seen a lot of frost, but it's certainly not helping by the looks of it with the estimated 1 billion mice. What else is happening? Because no doubt it's having a huge mental impact on farmers and the like, and also the economic impact and the physical health as well.
Yeah, look, at the moment, the mice, if you take it as a cumulative effect, with the worst drought in Australian recorded history, and then you've got a mice plague that is not just killing and devastating your crops, but it's actually toxic to the stock. It's causing health concerns in terms of individual and people's health, but the mental health and the strain that this is just one more huge disaster that these people actually have to somehow overcome. The calls for help that we're getting at the moment are significant and substantial. We're doing a lot in terms of mental health counselling because people are really on the edge right now.
The New South Wales government announced a $50 million mouse plague package. What's included in this package?
That's a really awesome question. I mean, we're really happy that the government is noticing that there is a plague, but there is no way to access it. They haven't decided what it's going to be for. We're basically being told that it'll be at least July before there's any detail in behind that announcement. At the moment, we need more than just announcements. We need action. This has been going on for way, way too long. Media announcements are not going to help farmers and people on the ground that are experiencing the worst plague in decades.
And it's not just farmers, it's heading to cities. We've heard quite a few reports of places in Western Sydney and no doubt by the looks of it, it is heading closer to the coast.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just yesterday we were seeing reports of a house in Penrith that's got mice all through the roof and the walls. It's not just the health risk. I mean, there's houses that are being lost because mice are eating the electrical wiring. There's major infrastructure that's being destroyed, telecommunications towers. The devastation is significant, both from a physical, emotional and an economic point of view. The infrastructure that they're eating through, they're not just eating grain, they're eating cars, wiring. uh, it's stuff that you can't comprehend until you actually see.
And finally, we mentioned the announcement of the $50 million a government package that we certainly hope to hear more about, and it will be distributed as soon as possible. But in regards to the solution, what is the solution to eradicate the mice? I'm hearing zinc phosphide and certain other products, but some will eradicate them but remain toxic. The carcasses could remain between 1 and 200 days in a toxic situation. What is needed?
So the CSIRO are talking about zinc phosphates to be probably the best solution. Some of the poison that the government's talking about at the moment, the bromelain, is illegal in other countries. So I'm not sure that that is the complete answer. I'm not sure that I want all of my food and stock to have highly toxic poisons dealt with. There are better ways to do it. I know that some of the farmers are not suggesting that that's the right solution either. It is just about consistency and actually allowing the producers to get on top of the mice rather than the delays that we're constantly seeing.
If people want to give back regarding donations, big or small, we've spoken about this before, it doesn't matter how small the donation is, volunteering, what do you advise and how can they reach Frontier Services?
We would really love the help. At the moment, we're doing a lot of practical stuff for people on the ground. If anyone can help, please come to our website and donate at frontierservices.org. It doesn't matter the size of the gift. Anything at this point is greatly accepted. We really need the help to actually provide the practical assistance for people in the bush at the moment in order to get on top of these mice.
You and your team do an amazing job. Jannine Jackson, National Director of Frontier Services, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Janie. Always a pleasure.